She says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy?
Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career steering clear of political controversy, but recent events have catapulted her into the center of a heated battle. What started as a performance at a presidential inauguration has turned into a legal war, with Underwood now fast-tracking a $1 billion defamation lawsuit against The View. The country music superstar, known for her grace and powerful vocals, is now making headlines not for her music but for taking on one of television's most notorious daytime talk shows. After being relentlessly criticized and ridiculed on air by the hosts of The View, Underwood has decided she's had enough. Her legal team is now moving swiftly to hold the show accountable for what they claim were false, damaging and slanderous statements made about her, turning this into one of the most high-profile defamation cases in recent memory. The controversy began when Underwood announced she would perform at a presidential inauguration.
It is country music. I think
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I can't sing.
You would not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him.
Emphasizing that she was doing so out of love for her country and a desire for unity. Many of her fans supported her decision, but others, particularly in Hollywood and the entertainment industry, turned on her almost immediately. The backlash was swift, but Underwood stood firm, explaining that music transcends politics and that she saw her performance as an opportunity to bring Americans together rather than divide them further. While some respected her perspective, The View took the criticism to another level. During one of their episodes, the hosts of The View wasted no time tearing into Underwood, ridiculing her decision and accusing her of legitimizing a convicted felon. They questioned how she could claim to love America while normalizing someone they saw as a threat to democracy.
She says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country?
Their comments were not framed as opinion or speculation but rather as outright condemnation, suggesting that Underwood's actions made her complicit in political turmoil. The language used by the hosts was harsh, dismissive, and according to Underwood's legal team, defamatory. Instead of acknowledging that performers have the right to entertain at national events regardless of political affiliation, The View treated her performance as a betrayal. But Underwood didn't let the criticism faze her. She took the stage and delivered a breathtaking performance of America the Beautiful, even overcoming unexpected technical difficulties that could have thrown a less seasoned artist off track. When her microphone cut out, she didn't panic. Instead, she confidently continued, singing a flawless a cappella version that left the audience in awe. What could have been a disaster turned into a historic moment, and while millions praised her professionalism and resilience, The View doubled down on their criticism. Rather than acknowledge the grace and strength she displayed, they dissected her performance with their usual sarcasm and condescension, acting as if she had committed an unforgivable act. Underwood's legal team has argued that The View's comments went beyond fair critique and entered the realm of defamation.
My family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions for a lot of reasons.
The lawsuit they have filed against the show accuses the hosts of deliberately misrepresenting Underwood's intentions and character, portraying her as someone who aligned herself with controversial political figures for personal gain. The legal filing suggests that the statements made by The View were damaging not only to Underwood's reputation but also to her career, potentially influencing public perception and business opportunities. The lawsuit also claims that the remarks made on The View directly contributed to online harassment and personal attacks against Underwood, which her team sees as proof of the show's reckless disregard for the truth. As news of the lawsuit broke, The View's hosts attempted to brush it off, claiming that they were simply expressing their opinions and that Underwood was overreacting. However, behind the scenes, ABC executives were reportedly thrown into crisis mode. The lawsuit, now expedited in the legal system, has put them in an extremely difficult position. The View has been at the center of multiple controversies before.
In my opinion, I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
But this time, the financial implications could be catastrophic. If Underwood wins, the damages could be in the hundreds of millions, if not the full $1 billion. Underwood's decision to speed up the legal process is a direct response to The View's continued failure to take responsibility for their words. While some celebrities might have accepted a half-hearted apology or chosen to let the controversy fade, Underwood has decided to make a statement. there are consequences for spreading misinformation and defaming public figures. Her lawsuit is not just about clearing her own name. It's about holding media figures accountable for the narratives they push and ensuring that powerful platforms like The View cannot get away with spreading damaging falsehoods under the guise of commentary. Legal experts say that the lawsuit could set a major precedent for media accountability. In recent years, defamation cases have become increasingly relevant as celebrities and public figures push back against misleading or harmful narratives.
Yeah. Fine, and I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it.
If Underwood wins, it could open the door for other artists, politicians, and public figures to take similar action against media personalities who recklessly damage reputations. The View, which has built its brand on its hosts' candid and often inflammatory discussions, may now be forced to rethink its approach to political commentary. The situation has also highlighted the hypocrisy of The View's self-proclaimed advocacy for women's empowerment. The show has often positioned itself as a champion of women's voices, but when Underwood made a decision they didn't agree with, they were quick to tear her down. Many critics have pointed out the irony of a show that claims to uplift women yet continuously targets and ridicules female figures they politically disagree with. This contradiction has not gone unnoticed by the public, and many viewers who once supported the show are now questioning its true intentions. Underwood's fans have rallied behind her, flooding social media with support and calling out The View for its double standards.
Yeah. Now, there are other people performing too, and I don't really even want to bring it up.
Many have pointed out that the backlash against Underwood proves just how intolerant certain parts of the entertainment industry have become. The idea that an artist can be attacked for simply performing at a national event, rather than being judged for their talent and artistry, has struck a nerve with many Americans who feel that political divisions have become too extreme. The View's hosts, particularly Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar, have continued to downplay the lawsuit in public, but behind the scenes, insiders report that they are deeply concerned about the legal and financial repercussions. If ABC determines that the lawsuit is too great a liability, it is entirely possible that The View could undergo major changes, or even be cancelled altogether. The lawsuit has created a level of instability that ABC executives are struggling to manage, and their next moves will be crucial in determining whether the show can survive this crisis. For now, Underwood remains focused on her career and her legal fight. Those close to her say that she is determined to see this case through to the end, refusing to be intimidated or pressured into backing down. She has always been known as a strong and independent woman, and this legal battle has only solidified her reputation as someone who stands up for herself. The public is now watching closely to see how this plays out. If Underwood wins her case, it could change the way talk shows operate, forcing them to be more cautious about the claims they make and the way they frame their discussions. It could also serve as a wake-up call to media figures who believe they can say anything without repercussions. Carrie Underwood's fight against The View is about more than just a lawsuit. It's about principle, fairness, and the future of media accountability. Whether or not she wins in court, she has already won in the eyes of many who see her as a symbol of standing up against media bias and unfair treatment. Her willingness to take this battle head-on has made one thing clear: she won't be silenced and she won't let false narratives define her. The View thought they could get away with tearing her down, but they underestimated just how powerful Carrie Underwood truly is.